As the terrifying creature closed in, classmates hurriedly stripped off their tops and covered the boy with them, then quickly lined up in 4 rows on the playground. Just then, the man-eating principal burst onto the scene. While everyone stood in stunned silence, a girl suddenly stepped forward and pointed to the pile of clothes covering the boy. Everyone assumed the boy was doomed, but just as the principal stepped forward to strike, the girl quickly spoke up, claiming the boy suffered from narcolepsy. Since the incident with the glue on the chair had just occurred, the timeline proved he couldn't possibly have been the culprit. The surrounding classmates nodded in agreement. Seeing the moment was right, the boy immediately feigned waking from a nap, asking the principal with an innocent look what was going on. Although the principal was seething with rage inside, she had no evidence and was forced to let it go. Just as she was looking for an outlet for her fury, her gaze swept across the crowd and landed on a girl wearing pigtails. As the brutal principal advanced, the little girl was terrified and frozen with fear. But the very next moment, without a word, the principal grabbed her pigtails and spun her wildly in the air, only when she was completely exhausted and could spin no more did the principal finally let go, flinging the girl right out of the school grounds. Yet this still didn't quell her rage. She turned and stormed into the classroom, dragged the girl out, insisted she was the one who had eaten the cake, and even threatened to sew her mouth shut. At that critical moment, a boy in the back row let out a loud, resounding belch. Although he quickly covered his mouth, the rich aroma of cake had already filled the room. The principal sniffed the air and instantly identified the real culprit. With the truth fully exposed, the boy simply confessed everything. But to everyone's surprise, instead of flying into a rage or punishing him on the spot, she had a ton of cake brought in from the kitchen and ordered him to finish it all before the bell rang or face dire consequences. To save his life, the boy didn't hesitate. He buried his face in the food and ate furiously, while his classmates spontaneously formed a cheering squad to spur him on. Just as the headmistress thought victory was assured, the boy polished off every last bit of cake in the final second. Enraged, she immediately reneged on the deal and prepared to take action herself. But then, a girl stepped forward, publicly berating the headmistress for breaking her word despite her age. Furious that someone dared to defy her, the headmistress decided to make an example of the girl. She instantly conjured a sinister iron cage, intending to lock the girl inside as punishment. Unexpectedly, this move infuriated the entire class. They stood up to defend the girl, and even openly challenged the headmistress to lock them all up. Unfazed, the headmistress simply waved her hand, opening a whole row of iron cages. Terrified, the students scrambled to hide under their desks. Watching the headmistress's arrogant, smug demeanor, the girl could take it no longer. She used her superpowers to control the chalk, writing a list of the headmistress's many atrocities on the blackboard. The eerie sight left the headmistress completely stunned. In a rage, she toppled the blackboard and demanded to know who was playing this prank. When no one answered, she resolved to punish the entire student body to assert her authority. At that moment, the girl channeled her powers again, gathering all the chains in the classroom. Before the headmistress could react, the chains coalesced into a massive giant. Right before her eyes, the giant smashed all the solitary confinement cells to pieces. The girl then used her powers to braid the headmistress's hair, hoist her into midair, and finally hurl her right out of the school. And so, the malevolent, child-eating headmistress finally received the punishment she deserved.